Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope they're alright, 'cause it's time to showcase the new skins from the Rust store. Now, before I do that, this will be the last time I mention this, but I want to see if it makes that much of a difference. What am I looking at right now? Well, if you watch me on your smartphones, if you watch me on the YouTube app, a brand new initiative has just been set up, a brand new feature, and that's hyping up videos. Everyone who uses YouTube app, if you have an account, every week it refreshes and you can hype up to 3 different videos. This is all for free. So if you'd consider helping me out, this initiative is to help out smaller channels, ones with less than 500,000 subscribers, basically. I want to see if it makes a difference. Would you consider hyping up this Rust rotation video, and let's see if any changes happen. I have noticed recently, it's probably the kids going back to school, and probably the weird AI implementations they've added with structuring and figuring out what you like to view on YouTube. But the viewership has gone down. So it'll be very appreciated. Thank you very much if you do so. So over to here, it's time to showcase the next batch of Rust store skins. A lovely batch of skins right there, of course. And don't forget, if you think this video is a little bit too long, well, by all means, scroll down, take a look in the description. You will see I have provided chapters. Let's just say, perhaps a certain skin has caught your eye right now, and you desperately want to see what it looks like right now. Well, just look in the description. Everything is chaptered. And it's not just this. I've seen new Twitch drops. I've seen some very interesting commits. Oh, there's a lot to talk about today. So look in the description. Tons of chapters. And now let's begin. So we are looking at the second week of September 2025. And well, it's actually a very nice variety. I'm kind of happy with this Rust store. Of course, not everybody is. Typical. But to be honest with you, I've got to mention it. I was incredibly surprised to see so many late picks. This has waited 4.5 years. This Armor Double Door. The boots, they've waited like 2.5, and then we have this fridge. Now, initially, that was actually submitted back in like 2022, but then it got resubmitted, and now here we are. Outer Planets has returned, Corrupted has returned, and hopefully Copper is now complete. So okay, is this going to keep happening though? Or is this like a final, right, that's it, done, in terms of like the extra late picks for the summer? We'll see. But overall, what's your most favourite skin of the week? Feel free to comment below. I'm very happy to see a continuation. Night Demon, that's cool. Didn't see Funerary Tier 3, oh dear. Didn't see Bloody Tier 3, oh dear. Oh no, here we go. So now we are probably looking forward to the idea of saying, where's Funerary Tier 3? We can add it to where's Tire Tier 3? Cool, lovely. Anyway, you did still get Funerary Sleeping Bag, and that was submitted before Tier 3. Perhaps they wanted to keep you whelmed, but not super happy. No Tier 3 this week. Alright, fair enough. So we did still get a collection continuation, but it's not what you're hoping for. And I am concerned about that Tier 2 armor, because it did sell almost 3 times as much as the hoodie and pants. So, if you have a barge on that that's pretty high, you might want to remove it, just saying. Okay, cool. And of course, another M39 skin was accepted, so you should expect 4 in total. This is why last night when we did the abnormal barders, as you'll see here, this video, this is why I said you've got to be careful with the M39, the Arctic Skull. Sold quite a lot. By all means, people are happy with it. That's nice to see, but there will be more M39s. It really does look like every focused item of the month is definitely going to get 4 skins in total. Maybe a few more, because of course, with the recent complete the sets, we did get another salvaged ice pick skin. I don't know what's next, but it has kind of made me think a bit. So let me just quickly go over to here. Thank you very much, Flexi, for the subscription. If you aren't fully well aware, we have Halloween. That was actually the very first Halloween skin to be submitted. You'd know about it if you keep an eye on my short videos. If we're going to have a focused item of the month for October, would that be a problem if we potentially have 3 weeks of Halloween again? And chances are that could happen. Last year in 2024, we had 1, 2, 3 weeks of Halloween, and with the way things are structured for October this year, it definitely looks like it's going to happen again. I'm kind of under the impression maybe the skin creators need to know a little bit earlier to find out. But anyway, we'll find out as time goes on. And the link to this collection, it will be in the description. Keep an eye on it, because over the course of the next few weeks, up until October 7, 2025, all Halloween skin submissions have to be uploaded. And do not be surprised if we see about 200, okay? So, all right, cool. That's nice. Can we now look at the Rust or Hedge? Okay. So overall, I'm perfectly happy with the store. But now we need to go ahead and find out of all these skins, which ones are abnormal. Now, if you want to find out very quickly, you know, you can always look at Rust Help Store. Abnormal, 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 abnormal. The only skins this week that are not abnormal are the Small Fuel Box, the Funerary Sleeping Bag, the Toxic Wolf M39, and the Copper Boots. So, after giving tons of feedback to the people that run the site, I said, you know what, you could just have a tag saying abnormal. And if you're ever wondering, like, what makes abnormal so special? All abnormal skins cannot be found in loot boxes. So, there is a condition for that. So all these regular skins, you can find them in loot boxes. We never really questioned that in regards to whether that could affect like prices as time goes on. But, you know, with how things are currently, we see tons of sales. I mean, like, look at the previous week. 36,450 subscribers for the scrap box, and oh my, almost 30,000 for the tier 2. I'm not joking, be careful of this, right? Maybe we'll see Funerary tier 3 next week. Ha 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 ha. We'll see, but yeah, overall there was quite a lot of sales. Okay, so shall we now question what's looking to be a nice investment and how do all these skins look in game? Sinotype armor large box. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 skins in total, and Sulphur is on the workshop. With the way things are currently, I wouldn't be surprised if Sulphur is next week. There will very likely be another skin appearing on the workshop over the course of this weekend, but Sulphur is very likely next, because these were like the ones that appeared the one after the other, because we did have like a week off with the Complete the Sets Rust store, if you can remember. So we were supposed to have Cloves, but then Complete the Sets happened. So then Scrap appeared after Cloves, but Cloves was still accepted next, and that's just kind of happened after that. So anyway, there's the pattern. Sulphur will very likely be next week. We have 10 that we are aware of, but when does it end? And do you remember how people reacted when we had that 1 week with no Sinotype skin and the prices went down? I'm sure you can remember. Well, if I could just quickly go to date and time and show you this. Hedge up a bit late, yeah, no. It was a late Rust store. It was a late Rust store. So if I could just quickly show the calendar. With the way October is lined up, we're going to have 5 Rust stores in October. But 1, 2, 3, 4. We very likely only have 4 more Rust stores that are not Halloween. I wouldn't be surprised if we have 3 weeks of Halloween again. Maybe we do have 2. I don't know. But you've got to be prepared for the possibility. Does that mean, potentially, we're going to have 2 or 3 weeks with no Sinotype skin? Yes. Could it possibly end at that point? Or will it continue after in November? I've been mentioning this quite a lot recently, but I'm kind of under the impression they might end it when we have Halloween. Or maybe the very last one will be accepted just after, which would probably imply 15 or 16 skins in total. We'll see. Okay, just take that into consideration. And maybe go over to the workshop as well, because you probably need to find out, like, what Sinotype skin needs to be made next before this collection actually finishes. Are you desperate for a stone box? A wood box? A metal frags box? A fuel box? But I should also remind you, and we will talk about that in a bit, when Sinotype collection started, I'm kind of under the impression the skin creator never actually intended to make a collection, which has had a very cool looking weapons box. But then we kind of did like go up to him and say, hey, do you reckon you can make a storage collection out of this? I was one of the people that asked that straight away. So as you can see, all the way down over to here, there I am. I'm curious, are we going to see a series of these? And here's a short video of it. So I kind of get the feeling this skin creator was like, sure, let's give it a shot. And then it happened. Because I kind of think with how this new small box is positioned, we could probably get a small box collection here, perhaps. And if that were to be the next storage collection, oh, that means Sinotype wouldn't have that much problems. That'd actually be a-okay. I don't think anybody would be upset with that. So comment below right now. With Sinotype, what do you think needs to be made next? Sulphur is expected to be next week. And just to clarify, if I go to the workshop, look at the most recent submissions, you'll see for yourself. Yeah, Sulphur is right there. So With the way the pattern is, this is expected to be next. And yes, there's tons of people commenting, I need this, I want to be happy, but I never will be, you know. Typical Ruskin enjoyers. Anyway, so that's all nice. That's all looking cool. I do believe the armor box will probably sell more compared to the scrap box. I do believe an armor box will be more in demand. I do expect that. Although I've always considered this odd. Why do we have an armor box and a clothing box? And again, there is a lot of like clothing, primitive stuff and whatnot. Okay, fair enough. But shouldn't it just be like one box called attire? Or sets? Gear? Whatever. Anyway. Long term, I do believe Sinotype will work out quite nicely. We've said that many, many times. And if that does become a collection, and we'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. Okay, yeah, I don't think we have to worry too much. Let's now hop in game and give that large box a good look. Right. So now I should question. Do you think the choice of colours have been a little bit too similar? This is like red, dark orange. We've kind of seen some similar choices of colours. This also kind of gives me the indication that maybe the skin creator wasn't like originally planning this out. But hey, can't complain. It is a storage collection. Can you read that? A-R-M-O-R. Armour. People still complain they can't read it. So yeah, you got a cool looking armour sort of shield design there. Looking pretty sweet. That's a perfectly fine addition to the Sinotype collection. Right, not time. So, I have resolved my issues with the fuzzy, static sort of look with the glow-in-the-dark and the lighting. It was anti-aliasing. I don't know how, but it got turned off. When anti-aliasing is turned off, it's all fuzzy. When you turn it back on, beautiful. And with the lights right next to this, you can see it's a little bit reflective, like all the previous ones we've seen. And so, of course, let's now turn off the lights. So yeah, are you happy with how things have progressed? And would you be satisfied if it does end with like 14 or 15 skins in total? This is why I ask you, what would you prioritise next? Sulphur is next. It feels like that is pretty much guaranteed. Stone, wood, fuel, diving equipment. Where's the food box? Well, I still believe there should be a Sinotype food fridge. I feel like that might be a better choice. Alright then. And so that, let's now move on and showcase the next skin. Say hello to Corrupted Armored Double Door. It's a little bit scary. It's getting you warmed up for Halloween. Anyway, this was a very random acceptance. This waited 4.5 years to be accepted. But why wasn't it in the Complete the Sets then? Don't know. But we do kind of see like an aftermath with Complete the Sets. Well, they'll still add some extra late picks afterwards for a while. But we've kind of already seen that with like the boots for a while, haven't we? Okay, well, what are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you think it looks cool at night time? How about we turn lights on as well? Get a good look at that. Doesn't seem to be very reflective though. Well, still looks pretty, pretty cool, really sweet. But like, didn't we see an armored double door being accepted recently? Oh, there's a bear. Anyway, yeah, no, we don't see that many armored double doors. Perhaps you should consider the possibility of it being a focused item of the month in the near future. Maybe this might be implying it might be next month. Ooh, but no. Looking at this, I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of people will be liking it a lot. As of now, it is the second best selling skin. So yeah, feel free to comment below your thoughts, your ideas of what you'd like to see for a collection continuation. But the Corrupted collection's been out like for a very long time, and we haven't seen a skin for like, about 3 years now. So yeah, big surprise. I just don't think the skin creators are very active at the moment. So we'll talk more about that in a bit. But hey, comment below your thoughts, and let's question: is this going to be a very nice investment, or are we going to start questioning double armored doors? Let's go take a look. So armored double doors. Last year, I think we have a great thing to learn from. You may recall we had the Toxic Armored Double Door being accepted in the May 2024 Complete the Sets. So that came out, I thought, oh well, that's cool. That might be our one Armored Double Door for the year, because again, you used to hardly see anything. But then Twitch drop, then 2 more being accepted later in the year. So yeah, that looked to be a bit problematic for this. And for quite some time, it did suffer. It was below its restore price. But what happened was, post-Christmas, January 2025, we rolled into that, went up in price. Perfectly fine. No issues. At the end of the day, we don't have that many armoured double doors in total. There's all of them. Ta-da. Maybe things could change as time goes on, because so far this year, we've had 4. But I don't think we're going to see as much compared to last year. But don't rule out the possibility. I do believe there's more Twitch drops on the horizon, and we've already had 1 and 2, just saying. Anyway, perhaps we'll probably see another marketable one at some point. As I said, maybe it'll be a focused item of the month at some point. But this right here, I just think it's going to end up like in a similar pattern to that, and of course Neon Bismuth. However, Neon Bismuth also had quite a lot of skins accepted around the same time. At bare minimum, you could compare to Pixel Armor Double Door. Now, it didn't sell that much. It wasn't very in demand, but it still worked out okay. I think this will be pretty fine. But I've got to remind you of the corrupted collection. Let's see if I can do that. Seems I can't click the collection when I'm on there, but I can here. So this is old. These were accepted years ago, and now about 2 or 3 years later, we finally see corrupted armored double door. So if it doesn't sell too ridiculously, and again, at the moment, I can't give you a good, clear picture in regards to what the total sale is going to be like, because it was a late Ruster rotation. It happened at like 11 o'clock at night, UK time. That's late. The week before, it appeared like 8 hours earlier. I'm not joking. The rotations have been a bit odd recently. But the extra late pick, 4 years and 4 months, this waited to be accepted. Okay? It's a cool design. I think people will be, wanting it. But if it is pretty calm, if it is pretty tame sales this week, especially after last week, the amount of sales that are happening there, maybe all of it could work out quite all right. It's definitely going to be a situation where, this is abnormal. Wait it out. Let's keep an eye on the sales. Next Wednesday, when we do the abnormal barders, much like what we did with last night, I think it could be working out quite nicely with a smart barder first and then question things afterwards. Now, if you don't fully understand what abnormals are, let me just quickly hop over to here. So this is my most recent abnormal barders video, and last night I did buy something. Consider watching the first 5 minutes, then skip ahead to the buy order chapter. With last week's skins, let me clarify once again. With last week's skins, the wooden double door, it sold next to nothing. And by default, you'd sit there and say, well, clearly that's not got that much demand. But more specifically, I felt due to the fact that we had 4 wooden double doors being accepted in a row, considering it was the focused item of the previous month, maybe people just didn't feel the need to buy another one. Fair enough. However, before we had this being the focused item of the month, I knew for a fact, and I know, because I'm always looking at all the new Rust Workshop skin submissions, we hardly ever saw wooden double doors being made, and of course accepted. We've returned to that. So as time goes on, this is expected to slowly go up in price. And also there's the possibility that we will be seeing more of these Celestial Harmony skins being made, because a single door was produced literally just this past weekend. And over the course of this upcoming weekend, I expect to see more again. Sheep in the door, sheep in the double door, locker, sleeper bag, you name it, I expect to see a deplorable collection. And if we do, all the better for that, because it sold next to nothing. Lack of sales, low listings, easy to rise up in price. And that is why I bought 50 of them last night. So if you don't fully understand, just watch the video. I guide you for everything, like I do with all the people in my streams every single Wednesday night. We'll discuss the prices to offer. I'll give you all the reasons why for positives and negatives. We do the barders, we look at the support afterwards, and then we question, all right, you know what, maybe it is a good idea to jump in and buy some. And that is why I bought 50 Celestial Harmony wooden double doors last night. It's on another account now, because I kind of had to shift around what I can do barders with and what I can purchase things with. So, okay, cool. All good, understood. So, back over to here. Let's now switch over to Skinlytics. Let's just refresh here. Rust Help seems to be the one that's most up to date. Only by a few minutes, though. Skinlytics also does a good job being up to date. Let's now talk about the small fuel box. So this right here, too much surprise, a lot of people really like it. And I kind of have warmed up to it. Initially, I was like, what, really? Okay, then fair enough. Brand new skin creator, by the way. Let's just go say hello to Mr. Magwamp and CG Poison. Now, I've got to mention this. I've noticed this guy before, and I'm pretty sure he had a different name. Can't remember what it was, but I will clarify. With that right there, I'm under the impression that he just wanted to do a specific small box skin. It looks like a fuel carton. That's clever. That's cool. And that very likely is the reason why it was accepted today. And I also do know for a fact that a lot of people do like to have a fuel box. Not everybody, but there is demand for it. And so, do you think, with the position he's in now, he could make a small box collection? I would consider going to the comments and maybe offering some ideas. Mention that you are actually very curious to see a small box collection, you know, give him the indication, the support to say, I want to see this happen. Can I get a cards box? Because I'm still waiting for that for the new storage collection. Could I get some farming box? Like, there's loads of things that could be made. And judging by the effort he put in with this design, if he could like make it like a tool used for that specific subject, maybe we could have a pretty interesting small box collection on the horizon. And I'd be happy with that, because it won't be a large box collection that could cause issues for the Sinotype. It'll be isolated as its own small box collection. So, okay, this is looking pretty sweet. I think quite a lot of people would consider it a nice addition. And as I said, are we now in the same position like we were when we saw the Sinotype weapons box being introduced? Because it was all speculation, wasn't it? It was all hype. But is he motivated? Is he interested? You've got to keep an eye on him over the course of this weekend. Now, I should clarify, this small box is not abnormal. Wednesday night, we're going to have to take into consideration the amount of sales it had, or has. We had to take into consideration, did it actually get a collection continuation made? And then we'll have to question, right, well, are we actually going to buy some? Or are we going to try our best to try and get a good barge on it? And remember, with regular skins, the skins that aren't abnormal, they only become marketable when the roster rotates. Which was pretty annoying, because I was waiting for the barders for that, and this and that. So, yeah, this is why I was a little bit annoyed with the roster rotating a bit late tonight. But anyway, it is looking interesting. Clearly there is interest. But could we see a small box collection being made? And what would you personally like to be seen made? Like, what type of like interesting, focused sort of design centered around a small box could you make? Like, you could probably have, as I said, a very nice basket for the seeds and farming box. Trying to think of some other things. But anyway, you get the idea. So anyway, let's now go on game. Give it a good look, and you can tell me, actually it looks nice. Or maybe you can sit and say, not that interested. And here we have the fuel box. Give that a good look. It's quite literally a fuel can. Respect to the skin creator, that's a clever idea. But we do need to keep an eye out and see, will he make a collection continuation? Will he just commit and make a whole bunch of fuel storage skins? Other deplorable skins is what I meant to say. I mean, you could get a large fuel box. I'm not sure if people are going to be super eager for that, but hey, we'll see. So yeah, looking cool. Paint's a bit faded. It's a little bit rusty as well. Looking pretty cool. Nighttime look. So, with the light right next to it, yep, it is a fair bit reflective, but I'm getting the indication that this does not glow in the dark. So, let's just pull back a bit, turn off those lights, and no, it doesn't glow. Are you sure? Well, let me just go around, make sure I'm actually all the way around on the back as well, and no, doesn't glow. So that is probably a little bit of a concern, but does it need to glow? Is it super necessary? I mean, you could comment below and whatnot, but it's still a very nice design. And listen, by all means, if you just want to buy a skin because you like it, not every single thing has to be an investment. Just go buy it because you like it. Appreciate it, you know? Treat yourself. But if you are looking at a skin and questioning, oh, should I invest into it? Wait it out. Be patient. Abnormal barders first. But in regards to skins like this, the non-abnormal skins, you probably do just want to wait it out. Keep an eye on the sales, and then just question on the day, like Wednesday night. Okay, fair enough. Comment below your thoughts, and now let's move on to the next skin, which just so happens to be over here. Say hello to the Funerary Collection continuation. That's the one you wanted, right? So, yeah, we kind of wanted to get the tier 3. I kind of think they're probably just postponing it for now, and we'll probably see it next week, but that tier 2 really did need to see it. So here's hoping that the tier 2 manages to, to survive. If you invested into it, well, you might be in trouble. But if we do eventually see the tier 3, I would expect it to spike in price. I'm not sure if this is going to sate all the people who invested into the skins already, but it is a perfectly fine looking sleeping bag, but I don't believe it glows. It doesn't glow. No. Maybe some of the bullets could have been hot. No, not happening. Is it reflective? Well, let's just a bit with the bullets. Looks cool. The bandoliers all wrapped around the sleeping bag. How else am I going to feel nice and safe, huh? Where's the gun though? Oh. Well, understood. So yeah, it's fine. It's a nice addition to a growing collection, but is it actually going to complete the clothing armor? And it's not the skin creator's fault. It's up to Face Punch. And unfortunately, like I've said throughout all this year, where is Tier 3? Where is Funerary Tier 3? Okay then. Let's now hop out of here. Question how this is likely to end up at in terms of will it be a nice investment? Because we have seen quite a lot of black sleeping bags this year, haven't we? Do you remember? So let's now remind you, how many sleeping bags have we seen this year? I click this, I see all the recent ones. Jungle Tomb's doing alright. It's been about 2.5 months since we last saw one. Anyway, you got that? Slightly positive. Green sleeping bag works nicely in the forest, the plains, the fields. You get the idea. Even the jungle. Eye bright and blue, glow in the dark. Probably wasn't for the best, but it's only slightly down in price. Also didn't sell that much. Now, what did sell considerably more was the night sleeping bag. That sold for $2. All black, leathery. Doesn't reflect. Well, it did reflect a little bit. Doesn't glow is what I meant to say. That's down by 1/4 of its price. And then even earlier this year, sold a little bit more black diamond sleeping bag. Sold for $2.49. It's slightly below, negative 14%. So yeah, we've had 2 other black sleeping bags somewhat recently. And before that, we've had more. I've got to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me if it does drop off. It really wouldn't surprise me if this does drop off. Yes, the collection's doing pretty good at the moment. Oh, okay, well the kilt cell was already slightly down on price. But yeah, with the Tier 3 being accepted potentially next, or maybe some other skins, I'm sure it could probably still work out to a point, but I'm still not 100% convinced. And I don't believe this is an abnormal skin. So let's just quickly remind myself, that's not abnormal. It's a regular skin. Uh-oh. So, it's cheaper. Oh, not meant to look at you. Sorry, go away. Blah. It is cheaper, but I still am not too keen, sorry to say. We can keep an eye on the sales. We can see what's produced next. Like, will we see another funerary deplorable being made? What about a locker all wrapped around in ammo? What about a chair all wrapped around in ammo? That might be pretty cool. Bullet King, something like that. We'll see. Anyway, so still not 100% convinced. If it sells reasonably, yeah, that actually could be quite all right. So if it ends up selling like less than 10,000, I wouldn't be too worried. But it's not exactly the lowest selling skin at the moment, is it? So we'll have to wait and see. Will all the skins this week be fairly tame with their sales? Or will it actually sell quite a bit? Will it sell a similar amount compared to the night sleeping bag and the black diamond sleeping bag? We'll have to wait and see, alright? So, got to be patient with that one. But by all means, if you like it, treat yourself to one, okay? That's for you. It's not an investment. Okay, so next up we have the Night Demon clothing. Collection continuations to Tier 3. Doesn't seem to notice it's a collection. So if I just quickly go over to here, Night Demon collection, as you can see, these have actually been pushing up in price quite nice. They've been bought out. So if I could just go over to here, we have indeed noticed the spike in demand, spike in price with the Night Demon Tier 3. With another core piece being accepted, that being the hoodie and pants, now this core piece, the Tier 3, has risen up ever so nicely. Barders have pushed up to $4. At one point, these were selling for around $6, but now more have been listed. The price seems to have kind of calmed down a bit. Well, this one's still at $5. So, I always say this. So as long as you see more core pieces being accepted, core pieces being Tier 2, Tier 3, or hoodie and pants, boots and gloves are also a very nice addition. Things will work out nicely. And now we question what's going to be made next. Could we see boots and gloves? Could we see Tier 2? Ooh, not sure, but we anticipate now. Maybe the skin creator might take a bit of a break from it. Don't be surprised when that happens. This is made by Little Ranger. He's one of the most successful Ruskin creators in terms of total acceptances. You may notice all the previous collections he's made, such as Crocker Collection, Cock, Abyss, Toxic. He has made a lot. He's been around for a very long time. So if they do end up trying to make something different, Don't be surprised. Sometimes it might take a good extra week or two to think of how to make a nice new design for a collection and whatnot. Or, you know, maybe we'll just need another cock skin. So, anyway. Oh, there you go. SCM's not been 100% today. Are we good now? Okay. So with this, we now question... Oh, don't mean to click that. I'm going to click Night Demon. Can I click Night? Don't go away. Right, cool. Night Demon, please. Night Demon did between 12 to 14,000 subscribers. If the hoodie and pants match up to that, perfect. No issue, no problem. Because remember, last week we had a very noticeable problem with Funerary. The hoodie and pants here did around 11,000 subscribers. These three did close to 30,000 subscribers. It's a little bit too much. The only saving grace for that is if Tier 3 comes out and also does around 30,000 subscribers, what would then just happen is the hoodie and pants would be very expensive because there's only so much to go around. But if the Tier 3 comes out and does similar to the hoodie and pants, oh, that's ruined. That is ruined then. So just want to give you a nice sort of parallel and a comparison. So with the Night Demon hoodie and pants, I think it looks perfectly fine because I've already showcased it in a short video. It doesn't hurt to get a good look at it right now. Let's hop in game and see how it is. Here we are in game. Now, if you're questioning what's with the change of scenery, we had a little bit of chaos happen, and I thought it was a good idea to make a little bit of a change. So here we have the hoodie and pants. Hope you like the view. More specifically, the skin's right here in front of you. So yes, a nice golden design on top of black leather, I guess you could say. Yep, it looks like that. So, okay. Nice, interesting collection continuation for the Tier 3 armor. Now, one thing I've noticed is, why is the hoodie and the chest plate darker on the back compared to, like, that? That's a bit confusing. You'll see that for yourself in a bit. I'll put the Tier 3 on as well. Now, some people are wondering, hey, is it, like, super reflective? Well, if I just make it natural sunlight, I've got no lights on, and yeah, it does kind of stick out a fair bit, doesn't it? The shine does look pretty. Let's now turn the lights back on and make it nighttime. So, of course, you should be well aware I'm standing in front of a stage with lots of wonderful lights. Get a good look at that. So it is reflective at nighttime. That we can confirm. So if that's a worrying matter for you, you don't have to buy it, but there was a bunch of people that also thought, hey, does this glow in the dark? Well, just to confirm, no, doesn't glow. So you don't have to worry about that. If we had glow in the dark clothing and armor, I don't think anybody would want it. So, okay, that's cool. It looks very, very nice. So why don't we go ahead and put on the Tier 3 armor with it. Ta-da! It goes great with my frog booties. So yeah, we do anticipate roadside gloves, boots, and Tier 2 next. But as I said, the skin creator does make a lot of collections. Maybe he'll take a break. Don't be surprised by that. But we do anticipate more. How many collections were we anticipating more over the course of this year? So, yeah. Get a good look at that. Why don't we zoom out a little bit? Pan around. Yeah, do you see how it's dark on the chest plate on the back as well? It really, really is. So, alright, fair enough. So overall, are you impressed? Do you like what you see? And also, you know what? Just to point out, yes, the Tier 3 is reflective as well. That is very obvious. Come on now. You should expect that. And to all those people saying, oh, what about the armor? Is it glow in the dark or anything? There they go. Done. No need to worry. No nightlight there or anything to make it stand out a little bit more. Natural sunlight now. So yeah. What are your thoughts? And could we see another continuation? And so with that, let's now showcase the next skin. And here we are, a few years in the making. Technically for this version, 1.5 years, but the original version, it was a few years ago. We now finally see the Outer Planets fridge being accepted. Get a good look at that. And yeah, this does glow. You'll see that for yourself in a second. What about in the top? No, just all metallic. So yeah, it's a very nice, bright and colourful design. But, you know, nighttime look first of all. Immediately notice it starts to lighten up. with this light right in front of it, yeah, it's a fair bit reflective. Looking pretty cool. But of course, in total darkness, wonderful. This is a very nice glow-in-the-dark design, along with all the other previous Outer Planet skins. It's been many years since we saw an Outer Planet skin being accepted. It's nice to see the continuation. It's nice to see the return. Alright then. How many fridges have we had so far this year? Yeah, that's a problem. We still have Halloween. We still have Christmas. We're probably going to see about 15 or more. It's going to be madness. But you do have a lot of options. Can't complain about that at the very least. But as an investment, what do you reckon? Just had one the previous week. I bet you'll probably have a Twitch drop as well at some point. That wouldn't be surprising. But it does look cool. A very nice skin to be pulled out from the past. But let's now talk about the amount we've seen being accepted recently. Let's actually talk about the actual collection itself. Outer Planet's fridge. Right, so let's just go give this a good look, the whole collection. 2021 sheet metal double door. That's been selling quite nicely as of recent. Single sheet metal door. Too many of them. And then over to here with the Outer Planet's large box. That's doing A-OK. Garage door, doing alright. Small box, slightly down. Armoured double door. Oh, that's been brilliant. Armoured door, not so much. Locker. If I can remember, when this was accepted, it was around the same period of time when we saw the fridge originally submitted. That also sold quite a lot because that was the first locker to be accepted after a good few years. Now we see them super commonly. Yep. Sleeping bag sold, quite alright. It has its ups, it has its downs. It's okay. But now the fridge. More specifically, number what now? 13. Oh dear. I do think we're going to have 15. I do believe we will be seeing a Halloween one. I do believe we'll see a Christmas one. Starting to see a little bit too many. But would you agree fridges have become a whole lot more of a necessity over the past, couple of years? Okay, well, okay, with all due respect, understood. But the amount of options are becoming a bit of a problem. So, the older ones, they used to be quite alright. Oh, wow, aircraft parts, you're not doing too good. Ooh. But, yeah. We've had some very cool designs. We've had some very cool Twitch drops. So, I've got to be honest with you. With the Outer Planet's fridge, just keep it on sales. It's also abnormal. Don't forget about that. If you want it, just go buy it. Treat yourself. But I will not be surprised if that doesn't sell that much. Because we're now getting to that point where we have tons already. People most likely already have one they want. Will Mr. Cavency feel reinvigorated and want to make more of the Outer Planets collection? Because there's a lot of skins submitted. Not every single one was accepted. Rug, satchel charge, wooden double door. Well, we'll see what happens next. Again, whatever might be focused next, maybe you might see some interesting collection continuations for them. Where is my longsword? Anyway. Overall, if it doesn't sell too much, alright, fair enough. It probably will work out very nicely. But smartest thing to do, with it being an abnormal skin, wait until Wednesday. Buy orders first, and then we consider afterwards if we want to approach it. So okay, I'll leave it at that. But also do take into consideration, keep an eye on this collection. You might start already seeing some Halloween fridges and whatnot. I'm sure we'll see more skins being submitted over the course of the next week. But the vast majority will probably happen towards when it's actually October. A lot of people like to leave it to the last second. So okay, fair enough. So hopping back over to here. With that out of the way, let's now talk about both these weapons. Because I'm going to showcase these and I'm going to showcase the boots. So in regards to the AK-47, let me tell you this. Some things have appeared on the workshop. Some very, 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 very interesting things have appeared in the workshop. And that might be a bit of a problem for the likes of this AK. For what it is, it's a perfectly fine looking design. It's just a standard AK though. Not super flashy, a very grounded approach. Now I know for a fact quite a lot of people do appreciate something like that. Fair enough. But there's also some type of, there's the types of people that can't say no to an anime cat girl AK-47. Can't say no. And that could be given away for free. It's kind of like that very awkward situation like 2 months back where we had that cool looking Totem AK. Out at the same week, we had 5 AK-47 Twitch drops. And I wouldn't be surprised if we probably see another AK-47 Twitch drop. I don't know if we do. I'm still finding out. But we do have one on the way. And you just saw it. And I might showcase that to you in a bit, don't you worry. Or rather, look in the chapters in the description. Anyway, so PTNT AK, you're okay. But that's the problem. You're just okay. It is abnormal. It's selling for $2.49. I don't think it's maintaining that price. I'm very sorry to say. Being very straightforward with you. Now with the Toxic Wolf M39, okay, there you go. I expected that. Another M39 was accepted. Next week, I expect another one. And the week after that, I expect another one. With the amount of sales, the previous one sold, which was just about 23,000 subscribers. So 23,000 bare minimum sales. I get the feeling people don't really need to get another one. And I'm already seeing signs of that. Now, I must reiterate and repeat, this Rust store was late. Chances are a lot of Europeans went to bed before this even appeared. Tomorrow, it might be different. Keep an eye out. When we look at the 24 hours of sales, maybe it might paint a different picture. But as of now, that doesn't look like it's selling that much. It doesn't look like it's in demand. Yes, it's part of the Toxic Wolf collection, but that also doesn't look like it's very in demand. So, okay, that's a little bit awkward. So overall, maybe these two just probably won't sell that much. There very likely is a lack of interest. I still have to go in-game, showcase both of them. Feel free to comment below, do you like them or not? Let's go give them a good look. And here we have the PTNT AK-47. It's a bit grimy, it seems. It looks like it's been used quite a lot. That's fine. I know a lot of people do respect a nice, realistic design. But the weebs, they want the anime cat girl. I'm very sorry, Mr. 9K. I'm sure you understand. So we'll see how this turns out. Maybe it might be a fairly low-selling AK-47, but it's not like that's never happened before. There's tons and tons and tons of these. We have 300 now. I'm sure we have more, actually, but point made. Also, does it like glow-in-the-dark or anything? Just to confirm, no. No, no. Also, I take control? No, 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 no. So, yeah. Do you prefer a grounded approach? Because there's a lot of people that do complain about the very wild and stupid and silly designs that we get, but those are the ones that sell. And, you know, pay-to-win transparent aim sight ones. This right here is a standard red sight. Good for all environments and whatnot, but, yeah. Very, very, very straightforward. Yeah, so. Very well then. Next up, here we have the Toxic Wolf M39. Give that a good look. It's all covered in saliva from the Toxic Wolf. Quite literally, that's like the idea. Now, the aim sight's pretty interesting. That actually should be good for all environments. The pea green does stand out for all environments, so even in the desert here. So, okay, that's looking pretty sweet. Let's just get a good look at that in third person. Looking very nice. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Feel free to comment below. What do you think? Perhaps you weren't, you know, that fussed just by looking at the pictures. But now looking at this in third person, well, what are your thoughts now? Are you impressed? Let's now go ahead, show these on stage, and perhaps it might stand out even better. Here's the AK. Get a good look at that. Quite reflective. Now, strike a pose. And there we go. So, we'll see what becomes of that, but I've got to be honest with you, it very likely it'll just end up being a 60 cent to 80 cent barter. So sorry to say that, but yeah. With Twitch drops on the horizon and whatnot, not too much of a surprise, is it? So, yeah. But hey, this could still turn into an interesting collection. Keep an eye out. I know 9K's made some very interesting skins in the past. Keep an eye out for that. Now here's the Toxic Wolf M39. Quite reflective, yes indeed. Let's strike a pose and get a good look at that. So, that's also looking to be a very interesting design. But people want something else. And I will say, we did get about 10, yeah, it was about 10 M39s in total being submitted in the past week. And there were some transparent aim sight designs. I was questioning, oh, could we see anything like that fairly soon? Maybe they're building up to it. Remember with the wooden double doors. 1 week it was a standard door, another it was a glow-in-the-dark door, another we had the transparent door. Maybe we'll get some variety fairly soon. With the past 2 skins, a white M39, okay, I think a lot of people would appreciate that, and of course 23,000 subscribers, did well. But will people appreciate the Toxic Wolf? We shall see. So, okay, fair enough. Let's put this away, strike a pose, because next we have some copper booties. Let's just move the sun around a little bit, and here we are. So, the final piece for the copper clothing and armor collection. Get a good look at these. Now, I have seen copper skins being bought out today. Clearly, a lot of people were very happy to see these being accepted. What are your thoughts? And to all the people complaining, why is it yellow? That's got nothing to do. Quiet, Americans. It's obviously made in reference to the UK police, right? No, but that is the idea. The high-vis, like, colours and whatnot, it's in reference to UK police. Skin creator is British, so makes sense. So congratulations to Mr. Duck. But these waited a long time as well, didn't they? Another boot, or boots, of course, that have been waiting for a good couple of years to finally be accepted and complete their collection. Let's now get a good look at these at night time, with the lights right nearby, looking pretty sweet. But I'm under the impression some people probably are wondering, hey, did these happen to glow in the dark or anything? And unfortunately, my phone turns off at the worst time. I'm not having a very good day with this today. Come on, work for me, work for me. Boots, do you glow? No. Now my flicker's not working. Here you go. Ta-da! I'm going to get blown up at some point in a second. Let's hop out of here and talk about the boots. So in regards to the weapons, I might just do a 60 cent to 80 cent barter on both of them. I feel like that's going to likely be the approach. But Toxic Wolf, if you do not sell that much, you will look pretty interesting. But the collection in itself isn't looking to be very interesting. Could this reinvigorate Mr. Zinc to go ahead and make a whole lot more of these Toxic Wolf skins? More deplorables, more weapons, more clothing armor attempts. Keep an eye out. Let's see what happens over the course of this weekend. Now, in regards to the copper collection, well, it is essentially fully complete. However, could we see another attempt for the jacket? You might not be fully well aware of this, but quite a long time ago, let's just quickly hop over to the workshop, and you'll see for yourself. A very cool looking jacket was produced in the past, never accepted, and there we are. Now that's actually the original version. Back over to here, we actually have a version 2. High-vis jacket. I think a lot of people probably would like to wear that in game. Again, if you do like RP and whatnot, and you need the actual coppers and whatnot, there you go. I mean, it's quite reminiscent for the real ones in real life. Is this Fortnite? We're getting there, buddy. We're getting there. At least it's not as bad as Call of Duty. So, alright, cool. Couldn't hurt. But maybe Face Punch just still doesn't want it. That's up to Mr. Duck. He also did submit a very cool looking garage door over the past weekend. I keep saying it's like Ducky's Kingdom. Transparent, glow-in-the-dark design. Maybe he'll continue making more cardboard things. Maybe he'll continue making more copper things. Keep an eye on his workshop over the course of this weekend. Currently, the boots are selling not that much in comparison to the rest of the collection. Even though it came, it came out a good 2-3 years ago. Tier 3 did about 20,000 subscribers. Tier 2 did about 24,000 subscribers. The hoodie and pants did 30,000. Roadside gloves only did just under 12,000 subscribers. At the current outlook with this whole Rust store, I get the feeling the boots won't be selling that much and will sell less compared to all these clothing armor pieces. We'll see how it progresses, but it is the lowest selling skin at the moment. It doesn't look like everything here is selling ridiculously, but we will get a much clearer picture when we see the first 24 hours of sales. Keep an eye out for my 48 hours of analysis. 48-hour analysis. Oh, God. Today hasn't been my day. But yeah, we'll see how that progresses. Cool. And like I said, in regards to the fridge, you've got to keep an eye out for the Halloween skin submissions. The link to that will be in the description. There will be around 200 skins in total. It's only 2 at the moment, just you wait. And also don't forget, you're very likely to see a ton of garage doors. Skin creators love making garage doors. I really do hope they do something different. We might see wooden double doors. We'll see. Alright then, so that is essentially everything. And just to repeat, 4.5 years, 2.5 years, and technically 3.5 years. Is that it in regards to these extra late picks? We shall see, alright? We're now delving into the autumn-fall season. We are 2 weeks in, and I can confirm to you some of the prices, they have dropped off. Clearly can see Copper Collection's been bought out today, Night Demon, but now we refreshed, that was about an hour ago, and now we're back to Whiteout on the front page. I've been keeping track of the prices. Typically when Whiteout's doing very, very, very good. Skins in general are doing very, very good. It's like a good indicator. If I were to look at it now, it is stagnating. It's not going up anymore. And if anything, you might say, oh, it's looking like it's just about to start go down. Typically, most skins do reach a low point around the beginning of October. Or at least October as a whole. However, we might be seeing a lot of people turning up for October next month because quite a lot of things are being tweaked, changed, and altered. If you've been keeping track of the commits, you'd know a lot of interesting changes are being made. Loot spawns in certain monuments are being rearranged, changed, and whatnot. We have just found out that for to get like a tier 3 workbench and whatnot, you're going to need to get blueprints again. Oh no. Quite a lot of people complaining, quite a lot of people very happy. To slow down the very easy, quick progression for clans, blueprints are coming back, it seems. That's just for the workbenches. Bits and pieces of a blueprint will be scattered and they have to find all of them. But then again, with a bigger clan, they have more people to look around with. So this has all been mentioned. Quite a lot of people are dissatisfied. When are they ever happy? I've also seen mentions of Volcano stuff. You might not be fully well aware, but over a year ago for a hack week, one of the people working at Face Punch, they were working on a Volcano Caldera. Now you might not know what Caldera is. Just type it in, Caldera. I had to be taught this as well. I'm not being smart here, I'm just remembering. A caldera is, I do believe it's an extinct or semi-active volcano, which has like got lots of water inside it. It's like a lake. There you go, perfect view. I'm sure you get the idea. Half a crater, half a lake inside it. But with some of the mentions that are being said here, smoke coming out of it, it might be active. I'm kind of under the impression that this might be like a natural monument. Great place to get sulfur. Technically speaking, would this be its own environment? Would it be something that just perfectly slots in? Near the desert? Near the snow? Near the jungle? Near the plains and the fields and the forests? Don't know. But yeah, Caldera. Look it up. We are probably going to see a very interesting, as I said, natural monument. Maybe it not, it might just be natural resources. Great place to get sulfur. Do we even need a sulfur mine anymore when you have a volcano? That might be pretty interesting then, wouldn't it? So for modded servers and whatnot, I'm sure they're going to greatly appreciate that. So okay, that's cool. So let's now focus the talk in regards to the blueprints. So Alistair has set up an idea to help kind of slow down progression. Because for a lot of bigger clans, how easy it for them, to get Thompsons, MP5s, AK-47s within like an hour. Too quick. Too quick to get a tier 3 workbench. So what we have going on right here is a proposed idea. Well, if you're going to get a workbench tier 2, well, 5 basic blueprint fragments, please. How easy is it to find these? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what it's like at the moment. In regards to the tier 3 workbench, 5 advanced blueprint fragments. So, how hard is it going to be to find these fragments? And will it actually do a good job slowing down progression? But when you enter a brand new server, after about an hour, we no longer hear AK-47s being shot. Could we actually see AKs actually taking a good few hours, maybe even a day, to finally, start being made in abundance, like a factory, like a big clan would? Well, a lot of people do seem to be quite upset with this. Look at the downvotes compared to upvotes. So much so that Alistair has actually stepped forward and said, well, how can you criticise something if you haven't actually played it yet? How can you criticise until we've tested it out and made sure everyone like genuinely doesn't like it. Play it first, then say you hate it. It's not wrong. Doesn't hurt that they're trying to do this, like test out different ways in which they can make sure everybody's happy. Do you remember a long time ago when we didn't even have the tech tree? I played around properly around back then, trying to find blueprints. It was more of a treasure hunt, to be honest with you. It was quite fun. Tech tree has been interesting, but it's super easy to just get everything all cleaned out and ready when you're a big clan. You're definitely at a disadvantage with less people, in your group or as a solo. Feel free to comment below your thoughts in regards to this, but it definitely looks like it's actually happening. It's definitely going to be implemented. And to be more aware of what's going on, you've got to keep an eye on the commits. Like I'm seeing, notes here. Jackets are no longer being treated as rare armor. I guess we'll be finding them a whole lot more, soon. Like loot in general is definitely being shuffled about, redone. Things are looking interesting. Hackable crate loot's being changed. Lots of things are being tweaked. October is actually looking to be pretty interesting. Initially, when we did the September 4 swipe last week, I wasn't super eager. But now, based on what I'm seeing here, well then, this generally looks like we're going to see some very, very, very interesting changes. And we still got another 2 or 3 weeks until the 4 swipe, October 4 swipe. And this is where I now bring up, they haven't actually mentioned weapon nerfs and buffs. I'm not sure if they're working on that until the end. Maybe it's the thing they want to save till last. Are we even going to see it happen? And in regards to what Mr. Wasim said a little bit earlier, with these changes to the workbench, could primitive weapons be appreciated a whole lot more? Will the revolver be appreciated a whole lot more? Will the crossbows be appreciated a whole lot more? If progression really does slow down, ooh. So, lots of interesting things happening that could affect weapon skins. We'll see what's being mentioned, but at the moment, we don't fully know what's going on. And I feel like I might need to make a video dedicated to talking about all of that. It's going to be interesting. Okay, cool. Now, in regards to skins and Skinnables, I need to go over to here and bring this up to you. A month ago, I made a video talking about how Facepunch was asking us, what weapons would you like to see, Skinnable next? That was a month ago, beginning of August. Well, for the beginning of September, they've now asked us, what tool skins do you want to see in game? I wouldn't be surprised if next month, and maybe the month after that, so the beginning of November, October and November, I reckon they're going to ask us about what deplorable skins would you like to see next, or rather, what clothing and armor skins would you like to see next? I think some point next month, we're going to probably have an update. We're going to see probably 5 to 10 brand new Skinnables, aka SKS, HLMG. What about Wolf Headdress? What about Bed? Where's my race car beds? I reckon we'll probably have an update where they're going to introduce probably 5 to 10 brand new skinnable items in which we can see in Rust stores from here and now, aka skin creators can make skins for them. But specifically, what's being queried and questioned here, what tools would you like to see? And that, that implies salvaged axe, chainsaw, torch, yes, torch. I know they've made skins themselves, but would you like to see skin creators being able to make skins themselves from here and now, instead of just Facepunch? Well, that could be interesting. So I've already gone through all of this, and I've made a video in preparation, so that'll be out on Saturday. And you can tell me, you can comment below right now, what would you like to see become skinnable next? And next month, I am anticipating another question like this, and I'll probably make another video talking about this. So, alright, cool. Looking forward to it. It would be nice to see a lot more variety and new things in Rust stores, wouldn't it? I mean, they can always, accept more water purifiers, just saying. Okay, cool. So let's now hop back over to here. That's cool. Keep an eye on the commits. Keep track of everything because, the 1st of January 2026, ooh, that's when the 4 swipe is. For the beginning of the year, are we actually going to start noticing player counts improving? Because it's not been that good this month so far, but it was anticipated, it was expected. September usually does have a bit of a drop-off. Look at last year. Where did almost a quarter of the people go to? back to school. But October, with the proposed potential changes, and I know they're not even finished yet, it does sound like people are going to be pretty interested to turn up. Meta Shift appears to be the update name. It's not a massive content update, but it is a very interesting balancing update. What would you personally like to see being implemented? Feel free to comment below. So everything's all been said and done in talk, in regards to the player count, the commits, and of course the Rustore skins. But perhaps now we need to talk about the Twitch drops that we are noticing on the workshop. So I've noticed an interesting select number of skins. For some reason the picture here has disappeared, but there you go. I'm sure many of you are fully well aware. Between the 20th of September, the 30th of September, we're going to have the Rust Kingdoms free event take place, and Twitch drops will be dropping. So get yourself nice and ready. I do believe that's starting next week on Saturday. And if we were to just quickly go over to here, find Mr. Abe's Twitter. So I've got to go find out how to do that real quickly. Mr. Abe, I did search for it recently. Where are you? There you go. The video is up, although I'll pause it because it's not mine, so I probably shouldn't showcase that. But yes, the event is getting started soon, and I hope you're ready for some very nice looking Twitch drops. And perhaps now is a great time to showcase all of them. So just a few seconds ago, you just got a glimpse of the Masayoshi and Ellum Twitch drop sleeping bag, and I'm very sorry if I mispronounced those names. Sorry. But did you notice whether they potentially might be some nice camouflage sleeping bags? Ooh. Now, just to repeat, I should point out there's 3 sleeping bags right in front of me. In the desert region, it appears these sleeping bags do seem to work quite nicely. And there you go, Masayoshi's logo and Ellum. Over to here, we have one in a bush. If I just step a few paces backwards, it's gone. Up close, yeah, you'll notice it, but you have to really look for it. And in general, from quite a distance away, to be honest with you, it does blend in quite nicely. Now, you know where to look because you've already seen it, but over to there, one right next to the big rock there, and one just on the desert, on the ground. So, yeah, no, that looks to be pretty good. It is also vaguely green. So I guess some of you are probably asking, how does it look in the grass? I do apologise in advance. I couldn't really find a very nice sort of thick grass plains and forest area, but this seems to do a good showcase of this. Do you see the sleeping bag? Well, let's start moving. So as I get closer to it, I'm sure you'll notice it. Perhaps the elevated sort of height of the hills here probably is helping it out, but yeah, I just passed it. There you go. Ta-da! Now, if you walk over the grass, what of course happens is, if I just run back over to here, as you'll notice, it keeps it down. So, it's not always going to have that advantage of being hidden by grass. Just crush all of it, and there you go. Yep. Now it sticks out a little bit. So to be honest with you, I think we'd agree, it does seem to be better suited for the desert in terms of camouflage, but it does seem to be quite versatile. You could probably find a much better hiding spot, and yeah, I think that will be quite nice and hidden. So, what are your thoughts? Just 2 hours of your time, you can get that for absolutely free. Watch Masayoshi or Ellum. 2 hours of your time, you have a very cool and very helpful looking sleeping bag. It's also made with straw. Yes, that's going to keep you nice and comfy. Yeah! Right. Perhaps we should showcase that brand new Twitch drop AK-47 next. And now here we are. The moment you've been waiting for. What we have right here is the Catgirl made AK-47. I think it's Emiru in terms of the design, because it's the Emiru AK-47. This is her Twitch drop. I don't know who else is dropping it as well. I'm sure we'll find out as we get closer to the event. But this is actually a very nice looking AK. This is made by the same people who have made Black Ops Collection, Isoparam skins. That is a very nice shiny looking blue AK-47. So yes, anime Catgirl made. Some of you might be sitting there and saying, oh, I don't need it. I don't need such a skin. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't believe your lies. I know you're going to be chasing after this first when it's out. You're going to make multiple accounts just so you can have multiples of this. Get a good look at the blue aim sight. I don't know why we don't get that much blue aim sights in regards to red. They're both super stand out in pretty much every single environment. But hey, it does stand out quite nicely. Cute cat bone right there. A very nice illustration. So, are you a fan? Feel free to comment below, because you're going to get that for absolutely free. 2 hours of your time, you watch Emiru and potentially another person. We don't know yet. We'll find out as we get closer. But yeah, that's a very nice, cool, stylish design. And of course, nighttime look as well. One thing we must point out, the aim sight at nighttime, very helpful. Good night light. That has good vision. I know a lot of people appreciate that. But of course, if you're going to get a lot, just use an aim sight. So yeah, your opinions please. Feel free to comment below. And now I could show you some more Twitch drops, but I've got to save it for my Twitch drop showcase video, don't I? Can't showcase all of them. And I can't showcase all of them because I don't know what they all are. But I have seen some more. And as we get closer and closer to the 20th of September, I'm pretty sure we'll see all of them. I'm anticipating probably like 14, something like that, because there should be some general drops as well. So potentially next week, that's when we'll find out what all the Twitch drops are. And of course, I'll be showcasing all of them to you in a lovely video. Alright then, so that seems to be everything. Let's try and wrap up the video. Now, one thing to mention with this Rust store, 3 of the skins were early picks: Night Demon Hoodie and Pants and Toxic Wolf M39. If it'd be a lot more aware and up to date with all the newest Rust Workshop skin submissions, consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks for September 9, 2025. All the collection continuations are chaptered. It's very easy to skip ahead. Like, you could just see the videos up, scroll down, look at the skins that are mentioned in the description with the chapters. You could just skip ahead to the ones that sound interesting to you. You're more than welcome to do so. So, as you'll notice, Toxic Wolf and Reflector M39 were mentioned here. Unfortunately, I seem to have botched the chapter there. But a lot of you probably were already aware of what the Toxic Wolf M39 looked like, and you probably bought it today, knowing exactly what you're looking forward to. So, cool. So that's for you to consider watching. And again, if you want to learn about abnormals, understanding like figuring out prices for the skins, racing to put the barders down, give that a good watch. Being aware of the new potential Skinnables, you can watch the first video here. New Rust skins in 2025. Vote now. It's up to you. And you know what? If you're gonna try a little, if you're gonna try something a little bit different, if you're gonna do something that isn't Rust, isn't TF2, isn't Counter-Strike, consider learning about sandbox skins. In this video, I make a point that I bought this neck tattoo cosmetic right there. I bought it for about $4. Half a year later, I sold it for $80. I bought all the skins that are available in the store 6 months ago. I sold just that and I've paid off all of them. And that doesn't even include me talking about the special limited time skins for certain holidays and just in general. All of those are going up in price very nicely already as well. This very likely could become one of the biggest economies on Steam. And technically speaking, it's not even out yet. So consider giving that a good watch. You will learn quite a lot. And you might make some sweet, delicious little profit. Choice is up to you. Right, let's now properly wrap this up. So yeah, I do apologise with the change of scenery. Problems arose. It was out of my control. I was talking about the skins, of course, out of the game, and I got attacked. So yeah, I don't think it was too detrimental with your experience. And I also hope you like the looks of those Twitch drops. I've got to be honest with you, I have been noticing a lot of very interesting things appearing on the Rust Workshop recently. Get a good look at these boots. They're not Rust Kingdom's Twitch drops. They're something else. What could that be? Ooh, we'll have to wait and see. When all those Twitch drops are released, or rather, uploaded, I'll jump in, showcase every single one of them, and you can tell me which one's your most favourite. And what do we have right here? The armor double door. Ooh, with the lights right next to it. Torches. It does look a little bit sinister now, doesn't it? Halloween is just around the corner. Perhaps this might be the door for you. But then again, how often do you even use an armor double door? That might be a bit of a problem. Well, maybe you play on PvE servers and whatnot. Maybe it's not too much of a problem. I'll tell you what is a problem. Helicopters. They are the worst. And so, thank you very much for watching the video. If you want, I'll be very generous if you hype up the video with your YouTube app on your smartphones. Up to you. I like to see if there's any difference and whatnot. It'd be interesting. Okay, with that, have a good one. Let's see what new skins we see next week. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to need another stage. Thank you very much, Helicopter. Thank you so much. Just piling up all the problems.